everybody! I got a face haircut! It's been at least a year since this part of my body has had air just blowing across it all crazy. It feels really cold, actually. Every time I breathe, like through my nostrils, the wind whips across my chin, and it's very chilly. I suppose if I were an animal, I'd have to be a chinchilla. This is why I don't have any friends. I feel pretty good today, and I don't know if it's just because it's a new month, or because I traveled through time last night, but I feel pretty good. I'm going to attribute the good to change. Change is a good thing, I think. Most of the time, not always. A lot of times it kind of sucks, but not all the time. Sometimes it's really great. I mean, people all the time are talking about how they need change. Like, can you spare some change? Or I need a change of scenery, or I need a change of pace, or maybe I should change my underwear. All of those, good kinds of change. I also love to change all of this right here. Because let's be honest, it kind of needs it. Change can be fun and change can be exciting. It can give you a completely different perspective in life. It can also just make you feel completely different about yourself, and there's something refreshing about that, a way to start over in some way. But also, change is really hard. If you've watched my other videos, you already know that I went through a big change of place last year, moving from Nebraska to California, which means a change in job, a change in community, a change in friendships, a change of associations, a change in what I expect from the weather when it's November and the high is still supposed to be 89 degrees. Eventually, I might stop complaining about the temperatures here, but don't count on it! And even though I used to kind of like change, I used to think it was freeing and nice and fun and interesting, I kind of became just a big complainy face over the last year. It's been very unpleasant, mostly for me, but I'm sure even more so for other people. I would find ways to complain about my job, complain about my church, complain about how, I don't have any friends, ever. I think there's a lot of reasons that I become such a complainy, whiny pants person. Complainy pants? Instead of trying to blame something that is probably ultimately my fault, I'm still gonna blame somebody else. It's those darn optimists. Yeah, you, optimist, with your big smiles and your cheery dispositions, and everything will be okay. Stop it! I suppose the problem isn't really necessarily the optimist, but it's people who are not always willing to acknowledge the difficulties in life that kind of get to me, that kind of bother me, that make me seek out more reasons to complain than I should. Because like I said, change is difficult and it's really tricky and hard to navigate, and you're not sure really what to do because you're not always sure if other people are going through the same thing as you are, or if it's just you, if it's your own problems, if you should be questioning yourself, your identity, your thinking process, your logic. Who are you anyway? I mean, sometimes when I complain, I feel very justified in it because I'm trying to keep it real. Like I'm whining about life on the streets, which is a pretty nice street, really. Pretty pleasant overall. But it's still life. It's not even first world problems types of issues. It's just that I wonder if what we feel inside when we're having a rough time, when we can't get things figured out and we can't get life together, it's like, are other people going through that, or is it just us? There's a comfort in knowing that somebody else is dealing with the same thing you are dealing with. Ultimately, I think it's one of the reasons I like being an English teacher. Like, the whole study of literature is kind of exploring other people's problems. And the reason we fall in love with books and movies, and the reason we fall in love with these tragic and flawed characters is because they've got issues, they've got problems, and it reminds us that we're not the only ones dealing with certain things. We can see it in somebody else, and we connect to them and saying, I know how you feel, because I feel like that all the time. It's one of the same reasons I like to write, because if I have a problem and an issue and I write it down and I let somebody see it and they go, oh my goodness, I feel that same way, I thought I was the only one. They feel better, I feel better, we have a community. But a lot of people don't want to share. A lot of people just keep stuff kind of bottled up like it is only their problem, and it might be because they think other people will think they are weak or that they are a complaining face. So when we're exhausted because our kids kept us up all night, we don't really talk about our kids as if they're the problem or that they've ruined everything, but we all know they do. We get this idea that we are supposed to roll with the punches, but sometimes we pretend like those punches were never thrown to begin with. But like I said, I'm feeling pretty good right now. It's a good day, I feel fine, my chin is a little bit cold, and that's slightly refreshing, actually, right now. I've been shaving at the beginning of November for like the last 7 or 8 years, and usually I just grow back a full beard, but this time I'm doing something a little bit different. This year I've signed up with Movember. Movember is a men's health organization that collects funds to donate to research for testicular and prostate cancer. This year, instead of just shaving it all off and growing it back in a no-shave November style, this year I've shaved it all off and I'm going to be growing a mustache. That's right, a mustache. The whole point is to grow awareness, and the whole point is to help people who need more help. I think doing that is not just a change for me and my face, but also it's a change of attitude, knowing that I can do something to make somebody else feel better about themselves and feel encouraged about the situation that they are in. I don't really like asking for money, but I do have a link in the description to go to my personal Movember account. If you want to go there and donate and send that off to Movember, that would be awesome. So yeah, that's actually probably the main reason I'm making a video today, and why it's the first one I've made in like 3 months. I do want to make more. That's a change that I really want to make. So that's kind of the update. I haven't had a haircut in 3 months. I haven't made a video in 3 months. I've shaved my face for the first time in over a year. And change is happening, and we'll see what happens with it. I hope you donate to my Movember account to kind of kick funds where they need to go there. And hopefully I'll be making these more often, because I know it's been a really long time since I've made one, and people have been asking me. And thank you, those of you who have been saying good things to me and asking me when I'm going to do another. That feels good. I feel like my lips are going to be chapped now that I've done this. It's like I needed the moisture to get trapped in there to make it not chapped. Like a moist mustache.